Thanks, everyone. We'll get going. And I am actually on some traditional lands in Australia. So I would like to start by acknowledging traditional owners of all the lands on which we meet today and pay respect to elders, past and present, in your respective countries and communities. I'm the chair today, Teresa Sinceric. We have two speakers joining us on this topic, youth and road safety advocacy, building the next generation of our road safety professionals. We have two speakers today. So Gail is our first speaker, a co-founder and acting coordinator of SORSA, which is Botswana's first youth and child focused road safety NGO, and Mr. Kong Sovann, founder and advisor of CamSafe, gathering national experience public health and road safety practitioners to encourage youth and women to promote road safety and public health related issues. So of the total time, we just to help manage our time, we're going to have the two speakers first of all, and then we will open it up to everyone for questions with our Zoom interface. We can all join on gallery and hopefully have a good discussion at the end. There is an option to put notes in the chat or raise your hand. Unfortunately, because I'm on a laptop, I can't see that till the end. So you will have to wait until the end for me to do that. But hopefully we can have a nice interactive discussion at the end. Thank you. So we're starting today with Gail, who is talking about advocacy and mobility systems in Botswana and his global perspective as well, with really showing that youth deserve to have a spot at the decision-making table now, as well as they progress into the future. And then Sovann will report on a particular initiative in Cambodia with youth volunteers, which provides a low cost and very proactive partnership type strategy for everyone to get involved in road safety. So Gail, we'll hand it over to you.
Okay, thank you, Teresa, and good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Like Teresa say, my name is Galeboe Motlhajoe. I'm the co-founder of a youth road safety NGO in Botswana called SORSA. SORSA stands for Society of Road Safety Ambassadors. So we first started at a local university as a club, but then when we graduated, we then registered it as an NGO. So just to get on the topic that I'm presenting on today, we have what we call SASAI, School Area Road Safety and Improvements, area improvements in primary schools around Gaborone. This is whereby we adopt the schools and we put the minor infrastructure. You can see on the slide, that picture on the left, that was before we put the minor infrastructure. That was before we put the road sign, the pedestrian crossing, and the speed hump. And you can see on the left there, that was before we put the road sign, whereby and the walkway where children didn't have the access to walk to school freely. But then after the interventions, that's when we put the road signs. And we also put what we call the murals, the painting on the wall, so that you know that children, when they grow, they learn faster when they see the pictures. They learn faster when they see the pictorial diagrams. So we also paint the message on the classroom so that every day when they come to school, they are reminded of the road safety. We also have road safety education, whereby we go into classes, we teach them the theory. From there, we teach them the practicals. We then take them to the road with the police to show them to simulate and to show them the actual road where they cross, so that they can have a feel. They can know they can be demonstrated on the road that they use on a daily basis. Next slide, please. Thank you. And we also have what we call scholar patrol training. This is what I touched on a bit earlier. This is where we then take them to the road to demonstrate. Then after we teach them the theory in class, we have to then teach them the practical at the roads. So the student will be given the opportunity for themselves to practice what they've been taught in the class. Next slide, please. One of the interventions that we do at SOSA is to meet, as you know, that road safety is politically, we need political will. So we had a courtesy meeting with the Minister of Transport and Communication, and we also have a meeting with the road safety stakeholders, CEOs, who support road safety. So this is to say, support NGO efforts, and let's collaborate. Let's form stakeholder relations. Let's partner in activities that we do. Let's not operate in silos. So this is one of the efforts in the meetings that we held with the road safety stakeholders that we want to work with, and the minister as well as the one who's driving the mandate in the country as the lead agency. We also partner with the FIA club in our country. It's called Emergency Assist. They provide the post-crash response, the ambulances, and the first aid training. Next slide, please. The Global Fleet Championship, we also work with the truck companies and bus drivers to say we know that they drive a long distance. They transport the food, and they transport fuel, they transport people. So this is one of the, we have partnered with a road safety NGO in UK called Break to recognize the best trucking companies and bus companies who have the best practices, who are practicing the best safe model. So this was just to recognize them, and we have this awards annually. So say we want to shortlist all the truck companies and bus companies to be safe, so that they can prevent crashes. So we also train them on speed management and fatigue management, because they drive a long distances. So they actually need some of this refresher training courses on some of these trainings. Next slide, please. We also have a project that we call Visibility Project. In our language, you call it Tselatsu. This is whereby we go to village in our villages and rural areas. The non-motorized, which is the donkey carts and the bicycles, are the most mode of transport. So we found that a lot of this donkey carts and bicycles, they are involved in crashes. So the reason being that they are not visible during night and during the day, because in the roads are not as improved or as good as the one at the cities. So we started the project whereby we stick the reflective tapes. The red one goes at the back, and the yellow one goes on the side, and the white one goes in front. This is just to say we need to enhance their visibility so that they can be seen, so that it can be visible in the roads and at all times. So after that, we also have we put the signs where they can cross, because they were crossing, some villages cut across the high roads and the busy roads. So we have where they can be designated crossing levels, safe designated crossing levels, whereby we put the signs, and all the motorists will be aware that this is where the motorists cross. The project is ongoing. We have started it in 2016, and we do it annually as well. Next slide, please. The IRAP, the International Road Assessment Program, we have adopted the IRAP training tool that the star rating for schools, whereby we train our members. From there, they are going to carry out the assessment. From the assessment, that's when we identify the schools that will benefit from the infrastructure improvement. Because after we input all the data, we do all the research, we do all the assessment, we then input the data into the VIDA, then the VIDA give us the recommendation. From this recommendation, these are the information that we're going to use to those schools that we assessed, to put those infrastructures improvements, or what is needed or what is lacking to improve the road, so that it can increase from the start. So we also do this with the schools, and we do with the Minister of Education, whereby we empower them to show them this tool is working and it's been proven internationally. So our members are trained on the IRAP training. So we continue to train other people that are interested and other people that we work with so that we can adopt the safe system approach. Next slide, please. We have our achievements and awards. I'll start with the achievements. We participated in the Global Alliance of Road Safety NGOs Community Act. We are one of the founders of the SADC Southern African Development Agency Alliance, because in Gaborone we host the headquarters. We participated also in Think Tracker. This is a Trans-Kalahari Corridor Secretariat, whereby a corridor, this is a corridor to the ports, to the Namibia and to Cape Town and to other areas. The awards, we have the ISMA International Safety Media Awards. We have won the ISMA, and then this year again we have won the United Global Road Safety Film Festival, the grand prize. And we also have the local. We also support marshalling locally. We marshal at the races, we marshal at the cycling, and we marshal at the motorsports. I think next slide, please.
Thank you.
I think that was my last slide.
Yes,
thank you very much for your
last slide. Thanks very much. Sovann, we will hand over to you to carry on with the presentation.
Okay, thank you, Teresa. Thanks, Gail, and good afternoon to everyone from Cambodia. So my name is Sovann. So I would like to share with you all about how we engage with the youth who volunteer for road safety in Cambodia, because they have like the same goal, the same view, that how we could move from the a problem to the better solution, and hopefully we can reach for a safety culture of best practice in road safety in Cambodia. This is how our common ambitions for road safety in Cambodia. So please move to the next slide. So today I'm going to talk briefly, but I want to bring you a little bit to see the road crash statistics, very brief, of Cambodia, and then I'm going to talk about what we together with the youth have been done so far before the pandemic, and what the youth still continue to move actively for road safety promotion during the pandemic, and how and what approach they move creatively, and the way forward that we wish and we plan and we want to do. So next slide, please. So for the road crash in Cambodia, within the 5 year from 2016 to 2020, based on the source of the National Road Safety Committee and the Traffic Police Department of the Interior Ministry, we can see a decline, both the fatality and the injury. However, all these are still unacceptable figure. It should be more could be done to save more life and to prevent the serious injury. That what the youth and also both the National Road Safety Committee together with the DPD development partners, civil society and the private sector want to do together with our young generation. So like in 2019, there are 4,000 plus crash with 2,100 fatality, leaving many other serious injuries, about 4,000, and many of them fall into the permanent disabilities. If you look into the village in the country, some village they do have only 500 people. So this is if we coming up with the sum, it's a lot of people become disabled because of the road crash that we can prevent. Move to the next slide, please. Most of the fatality based on the collision and the risk factor, if you look a little bit further, as those head-on represent the 39%, rear end 17%, and other like right angle 18%, plus others. And speeding is still the major risk factor. But in 2019, this keep increasing, like speeding keep increasing about 39% changeover comparing to the 2018. Drink driving down to 5%. Dangerous overtaking still 12. No respect right way 12. And driving against flow of the traffic and still a lot, 8% combined. So please move to the next slide. So we look a little bit further, like many farmer who died from this road crash, and worker follow after a farmer, 28%, and student also represent the 12%. Among the student, we can see like those are primary school student account for the 33%, followed by the high school student 29%, and the secondary school student 21%, while the university contribute 18% among those occupation with the student. And almost by age group, almost 53% are aged from 15 to 34 are the active age group, and most are the breadwinner, and those are the age that will contribute a lot to the economic of the country and for their own household. 25 to 29 are the most high risk group, has present the highest fatality rate, 16% alone. So based on this, please move to the next slide. Based on this, we have the opportunity to join with a project that support by many development partners, and our team, the youth, have been engaged to implement the community-based road safety program that the Ministry of the Rural Development have to responsible to build the road in the local community for 1,200 kilometer of roads, and our team have to focus on the community-based road safety program with the combination of the 3E: education, enforcement, and engineering. So that's from 2018 to 2020. We have to organize, like conduct the need assessment and organize the road safety program for trainer for the local community, that we can reach about 3,000 plus local trainer, and we also reach to 40% plus of the female. So both trainer and then the training in the local community, we reach almost like 5,300 in the local community that we manage for 131 commune of the 10 province. So this is a large population. This 10 province represent about more than half of the population of the country, and we work very close to the grassroots to enable all the local authority and the movement become a key advocate. So through the youth of our campsite that enable to implement this project, we work very closely with the local authority to build the capacity building, to raise the awareness, and we also develop like the behavior change communication, the material. We develop the video, we produce the IAC material, poster, banner, leaflet, organize the events, the campaigns during the main public holidays. Here they do have like a Lunar New Year, Khmer New Year, Chumban, that's many of the people are traveling from the place to place. So that's the period that many might face the higher risk to the road crash. So we before those public holiday, normally we engage the youth and our team from the campsite to talk to the media, to work at the grassroots, organize the campaign with the booths, with the question and answer quiz, so to inspire all the general public to aware in advance and to ensure that they will remind themselves to be safe on the road and to avoid from those high risk factors. They have to, if they have to drive with their own motorbike, they have to wear the helmet, not driving under the influence of the alcohol, no speeding, no dangerous overtaking, no cell phone use while driving, and other disruptive behavior. That based on the data that we found and the target group that we have to focus on, those 15 to 30 plus years old, and those the people in the local community that we want them to pay higher attention. We want to change their behavior from this program, and we also keep an eye on all the statistics, the data driven, that we have to measure what the action could be done further to influence the general public behavior in our target communities. At the same time, we also have the road safety engineering that have to conduct the assessment around school and apply the safe school zone infrastructure, plus together with the training and allowing all the students to experience how to cross the road safely. We also engage the school principal and the local community to work together to build like what they call a group work, or they call the youth volunteer in those respective schools for safe school zone intervention, so that allowing them to help during the school hour, that mainly for the student, when student come to the school and when the student go back home. So they have the local authority together with the school principal, a teacher, and the youth participate in this safe school zone activity. And we also convince all our target commune to develop commune road safety action plan. Successfully, 131 all the commune have been inspired, and they commit to develop the action plan to be adapted as the part of the community investment plan, that we want them to use this specific action plan to apply for the government funding and for their own local communities. And we believe that keep a momentum and having a simple and measurable the action with the guiding tool of this action plan will enable them to keep all the good work, and one day we can achieve our desire that we want a safety culture for road safety in the country. Next slide, please. So these are some of the activity. We have the education, we have the campaigns, we work with the school teacher to train them as the trainer. We work with other school children as the next generation for road safety. We work with the local traffic police for roadside enforcement, together with education and campaigns. And we apply many approach to attract the target audience, not just going to give the key message with the material and then say bye-bye, we go back. No, we try to find the way how we can influence through our key message effectively to the target group. So we apply, like if they are the young student at the primary and secondary school, we use like people wearing all the funny uniform to talk and to express the key message, and asking all the students to play game for safety. If they can provide the right answer, and then they can get the prize. And also encourage all the local community trainer to report regularly and give the key message at school, at their own community, and then we conduct a measurement and provides like a helmet or other safety equipment and facility as a gift to acknowledge their hard work on the road safety contribution for their local communities. Next slide, please. And during the pandemic coming up like in 2020 and more in 2021 until early 2022 actually in Cambodia, like everywhere in the world, that we face the same challenge of the emerging COVID pandemic. So we try to initiate further discussing with all the youth and our road safety team who used to work in this field, what we can do during this by not just working from home and during the lockdown or travel restriction, but be taking this as the opportunity to gain further knowledge, to keep our youth inspired by the road safety knowledge and skill set. So taking this opportunity, I would like to express our sincere thanks on behalf of all the youth and the National Road Safety Committee, plus the Union of the Youth Federation Cambodia and the CAMSAF youth, to all the Australian experts, having Professor Ray here that facilitate to have all the key high skill specialists from many organizations, the iDrive Safety, ISF, and the Foundation for Safety, to provide a very road safety coursery to our 33 youth from the UYFC and the CAMSAF, and also from the officer, like the junior officer from the National Road Safety Committee, to benefit from this international road safety course during the pandemic that we organized from the June to the August 2021, enable all the youth to gain more knowledge and understanding to continue their mission during the pandemic period. So at the end of the session, before we end the session of this international road safety course, we also divide them into 9 working groups among those young volunteers, that they have to develop their own road safety action plan. It's called like a mini action plan for respective intervention in their respective district. So 9 young volunteer group have to work in 9 districts that they can focus on, like helmet wearing, drink driving, speeding, and other disruptive behavior. To develop like the video clip, the digital poster or other material, and give all this key message through the social media platform, mostly through the social media platform, reaching to the people in the local community. And also when they have like a gathering with the people to give a message for the 3 do and 3 don't for the COVID prevention. They also give the key message of the road safety as well to the general public. And at the same time, they also print out like the banner to apply on the most people that normally commute through that area, like on the main road, at the commune, the office of all the road safety key message that enable all the local villager able to see, and to remind them if they they use the road, they have to pay high attention for the safety. Next slide, please. Yes. So from this, the social media platform and the physical meeting to the general public, the youth, the 9 group can reach up to more than 32,000 the road user through within this pandemic. And the team also facilitated to conduct the assessment among the youth. They are very certified with the course provided by the expert, having Professor Ray, Dr. Ray facilitate in this international road safety course. And we really want to move further, to enhance further skill for road safety that enable our youth to play a soft diplomacy role, or we can call like advocacy. And talking about the advocacy, I also want to take this opportunity to acknowledge and special thanks to the Global Road Safety Partnership when I start to work with the Bloomberg Philanthropy Program from 2011, and 2013 we started the advocacy program to looking to the article of the road traffic law, and then we work with the consortium partner to amend all the key article, and then having the new road traffic law adopted. And this also, like the active youth with the Global Road Safety Partnership, have contributed a huge of the effort. I'm not talking about the funding, but like the expert from the GOSP with the consortium partner to inspire the youth and the policy decision maker in Cambodia to pay higher attention for road safety, and knowing that road safety is very important, that the National Road Safety Committee together with the government of Cambodia have to pay higher attention and keep moving to prevent all the fatality and serious injuries caused by the road crash on Cambodia's roads. Next slide, please. So coming back, the way forward, as what I mentioned, we have a common goal, common ambitious. The team of the CAMSAF and our young volunteers, we want like a 5-star road with a 5-star driver, a road user, and 5-star vehicles. And if we have only like a 5-star road and 5-star vehicle, and we have only no star driver or no star road user, crash still a major problem. So we want people to be well aware, like we can call like they know how to use the road safely. They know all the key steps to be safe on the road and best practice. So at the same time, we want to further build the capacity, but using like any digital tools that we can learn from, like the new technology, like a game the developer, we can bring the road safety concept into like to the game, so enable all the people to play, enjoy, but the experience how to be safe on the road. And yes, of course, the public education through mass media campaigns to communicate the key message properly to the general public, especially those high-risk group, need to be done. And education alone could not be success without the enforcement. This need to be combined, plus together with the new technology support to the police, to the people that have to well understand about the safety, and also to generate further evidence-based result to talk with the policy maker. We need a very specific and very clear and sharp, I can say, the figure that to prove that further action should be done to prevent the crash and to stop the fatality and the serious injury on the roads. So from this, we continue together with the youth and our team who are working at the CAMSAF to talk with many possible partners, talking about how we can move better, design the program mainly like in the future for the drink driving by working with like a UNITA to organize the road safety capacity building to the university and high school and the secondary school. Also, one the Korea Institute has just coming up with the proposal together with the CAMSAT team to design, continue with the set school zone, the implementation, and using the model, the success model, having youth to further advocate and to further inspire the next generation, those students at the primary school, secondary school, and high school to be like the future road safety practitioner, so we can reach our common ambitions to have like a safety culture for road safety in Cambodia in the future. And but last but not least, we still need the support, especially on the technical support and the collaboration and partnership from the development partners, international organizations, civil society, and also the private sector to work along the line. That this we can call a partnership synergy, the word originally that we learned from the Global Road Safety Partnership, and while I'm working for the proactive partnership strategy for Cambodia and for Laos. So recognizing these models as very success model, and we also want to take this opportunity to say a very important word that we want to bring the attention of the development partners when they invest funding for the infrastructure. They have to make sure that the funding for road safety have to go through to the specialized and independent organization and group to promote the road safety independently and effectively. Otherwise, we will face a lot of the challenge to achieve our common ambitions everywhere, not just only Cambodia. So thank you.
Thank you, Sovann, and also Gail. I'd love if everyone wants to join in, and I'm not sure if others might have challenges with streaming if we all put our videos on at the same time, but if you would like to ask a question, I can now see the screen. Feel free to wave or put up a hand. Judy, thank you. Would you like to ask a question?
Thank you, Teresa. And hello, everyone. Judy Flyder from the Global Road Safety Partnership. Thank you both for those wonderful presentations. What a great body of work over many years represented there. Kong, if I may, I have a question for you. And thank you for your acknowledgement of GRSP colleagues who were involved in the partnership long before I was. But wonderful to know that the work that our teams did together in 2010, 2014 is still paying dividends. Very proud of the achievements of colleagues in Cambodia. Kong, my question is about one of your earliest slides. You presented a pie chart with a breakdown of the different types of crashes. And if I saw it correctly, head-on crashes were by far the largest proportion. I think it was 39%.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for confirming. And so when you were talking about, you know, safe roads and road infrastructure being such a critical part of the issue, I just wondered if you could share any reflections or thoughts that you or your team may have or have been looking into that would describe why the head-ons are so prevalent, and any thoughts that you have about changing that. Thanks, Teresa.
Okay, thank you, Judith. Very pleased to hear very good question from you. So based on this pie chart that generated by the National Road Safety Committee when having the data from the police and from the Ministry of Health combined. So we, the technical people, normally talking also with the engineer and the development partner who working on the infrastructure. They should mainly focus when they design a new road. We should have like a proper median barrier that enable to to stop the head-on collision. So this need to be like a safe barrier and the median that need to be designed when they have the new roads project, when they are going to improve the road. And also we also look to the statistic. We could see that most of the collision normally happen during the evening. So this could be like a long way, not just only on the national roads, but provincial and the local roads. No lighting system and no reflective object. And the road user, their vehicle are not completely safe. No light, so they have to drive in the dark. So normally in the dark, in the evening, crash normally happen. So this is all the point that we have to talk at the National Road Safety Committee. Please consider to build like a safer road at the same time with the active sub component to educate and to advocate and train and raising the awareness further to the general public. But you have to design a safer road for the general public. Like what are the key important facility should be built on road to be safe. Am I respond to your question?
Yes, thanks, Con. I'm sure there are probably colleagues at the meeting who have experienced and do experience similar issues. Good to know that you're raising that issue at the national level. And if I heard you correctly, at the end of the presentation, you made a plea for those who are funding road safety projects to take, those safety considerations into account. So a follow-up question, Madam Chair, if I may. Do you get a sense that those messages are being heard in your country, that you are being taken seriously when you say, any large donor funds that come in for infrastructure improvements must have road safety attached to them? Do you get a sense that your leaders are listening to that message?
Yes, very good question. That I normally raise this point whenever I have a chance to meet. Please consider to allocate like funding for road safety from your roads project, and this funding should be implemented independently by the road safety expert or any specialized organization. This point is very important. Normally, those ministry or department responsible for building the roads, they normally mainly focus on just only to build the road. Talking about the road safety, they also have the road safety engineer person in charge. But the critical challenge is when you propose 100 points for safer roads, and then they will respond or comment back to you or suggest to cut down the traffic sign, cut down the reflective drawing or reflective barrier, guardrail, because we want to save the money to improve or to build the road first. So this is the main barrier. If that amount of the funding allocated for road safety package lead or facilitate directly by the construction partner or the development partner, like the bank or other international organization, that it would move more effectively, because we have the same voice from the expert, not just only the local, but together with the national expert to influence those decision makers to pay higher attention for the road safety program in the country, and not just only Cambodia, but I'm sure everywhere might face the same challenges.
Thank you, Con.
Okay, thank you.
And in the absence of other hands up, anyone waving, I wonder if you bring youth into those conversations as well, Sovann, along with our theme for this evening. Often it's interesting to hear from the perspectives of young people what they face in travelling to school, and that's their realistic travel on a daily basis. Can often open the eyes of these funders to see from their perspective of this is what they face day to day.
Yeah,
maybe
you're
Gail
right.
will have examples from Botswana as well.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I saw a good part from Gail present about how to design a safer road and how to engage the authority and the youth to work together for school zone. So this is like not just only applying measure for a very intermediate or short term, but a long term for the future road safety practitioner. From the early age, they will influenced by the safety practice, and then for the next generation, they will be a safer person to drive on our world's road.
Yes, Teresa, let me just chip in there. I think what we are trying to do in Botswana also is to start
Sorry, Gail, you
teaching
just
from at the
froze for a
classroom
moment.
level, like in primary schools, who we simulate. Hello, can you hear me?
Now we have you again.
Hello,
Yes.
we can hear me now.
Yes.
Can you hear me? All right. I was just saying, we have the partner that we have partnered with, who we have the simulation for the road. We have the quad bikes, and we have the traffic lights, and we have the road and the road signs, whereby we show them what's the feel, how to go through the road, and how to cross the road, and to teach them the signs. And this also go to their parents as well, when their parents are over speeding or they are driving without the safety belt. So we teach them so that they have a feel and a simulated teaching, so that this can actually they can appreciate and recognize this. Not only just teaching them in the classroom, but we also have the quad bikes that we use in the cars, and we have the traffic lights that we use to simulate the traffic lights, and we also have the signs, so that they can actually know these things at an early age. So I just wanted to chip.
Yes, and obviously parents are a really important audience for our young people, and I think our young people do teach parents often. Sovann, do you have parent involvement in Cambodia?
Yes, Teresa, during our program implementation for the community-based road safety around school zone, we also engage not only the teacher and local authority, but the parents. But however, we could only engage the mother to participate in the school zone, the group for respective school. Normally the father have to go far from the hometown to work, or they have to work for the rice field or for the farm. That's why normally the mother or the grandma or the grandpa who can come to bring the kid from school back home and drop them at school, so they can participate in the group work with the teacher. You mute.
Just checking if anyone else had a hand up. I guess I wonder, perhaps for particularly for those joining us from various countries as well, if you were wanting to start this initiative, do you start, you need your champions, which you've both presented very clearly. Do you have challenges with schools with their busy curriculums? Do you need to get on board? Do you have any trouble interacting with schools, or where do you start? Do you start with, you have local councils or local government type groups? Maybe you can tell us a bit about your experience.
Yes, Gail, please go ahead, and then I will follow after you.
Okay, Teresa, that's a good question. Yes, we do have our challenges approaching schools, but sometimes we become fortunate that the school is experiencing a lot of crashes. Then they reach out to us. They heard about us, our NGO, so they reach out to us. So in the case that we want to reach out to the school, that's when we have to follow write the letter to the school, have a meeting, try to follow the process, and maybe they get back to us after 2 weeks or a week. But in the cases that maybe a school is near the busy road or where the school have a lot of crashes, then they reach out to us. Then we decide on the date on to come and train or to come and talk to the school. So it's in 2 ways. So for the infrastructure, it's a challenge. The project itself is a challenge because we have to go to the council to request permission to do the infrastructure on the roads, and we also have to go to the Ministry of Education also to request a permission to go into the school, because the schools are under the Ministry of Education and the roads are under the Ministry of Transport and Council. So for that one, need to take a bit of time, maybe 2 to 10 project, just doing the formalities and the meetings and the paperwork. But for teaching, like scholar patrol training, that one is easy. It's just to agree on the date and the time, and that's we go to the schools.
Okay, thank you, Gail. And for Cambodia, yes, indeed, we face a lot of the challenges to bring the attention of the school principal to collaborate with the Safe School Zone program. As you said, they have a long list of the curriculum for the whole year. And in addition to that, they also have like a life skill program for other like reproductive health, HIV/AIDS, and other session for their school. So from our experience, because the previous program that we have to focus is for the local community, the rural road and the school laying along the rural roads project. And from that, I can say we cannot just work from the grassroots alone, but we have to advocate further, as what Gail mentioned, with the Ministry of Education and through the National Road Safety Committee, because they have a well-structured bill, but we need to advocate and inspire them to be active. And from this 4-year project implementation, I can say that we should continue to the next step by engaging the Education Ministry and having like advocacy project to work together with them and to apply like a pilot and promote the best practice to replicate to other schools across the country, like to ensure that the road safety measure will mainly include to the core curriculum for the school children, and to ensure that the school will have their own road safety action plan or Safe School Zone working group to ensure that the student can come to the school and back home safer, provide the alternate like mapping around the school, how to be safe. Because recently we can see this success, but not sustainable due to the funding from the DP, funding from the project. When the project ends, and then the commitment has also finished. So we want to build like having a clear policy or anything identified clearly in the paper from the Ministry of Education to the government, having the opportunity to obtain like a sustainable funding to implement this outstanding program that we recognize that would be the best for the future.
Thank you both. And I see we have fellow co-chairs with Ali has been there for us, and Mazria.
Hello, hi. I have I have one inquiry, because the thing is, I would also like to share what we have in Malaysia with regards to youth, because in Malaysia somehow in 2019 we had this new road safety education module in Malay language, complete with graphics, and it was introduced in all primary school in Malaysia in 2019, and it involved standard 1 to standard 6 pupils. So during that time, the Ministry of Education trained the Malay language teachers to teach the module. And basically recently we collaborate with quite a number of schools, especially at the rural area, and then we found out that they although the teachers were actually trained previously, but they were really not capable of delivering that particular module well, because they cannot simply think like an ingenious, they can simply think like a Malay language teacher. So my question, somehow Sovann just now was talking about collaborating with few ministries in order to promote the best practices, and the issue would be the issue would be the sustainable issue, in which lack of funding would definitely drag everything out. So my question would be, is there any other solution that you might think it's good in order to make it sustainable? Because somehow, if we are talking about a larger issue, collaborating, to collaborate with all the ministry, it may somehow take a longer time. So do you have any kind of like immediate
You're right everywhere, and
yeah.
From the our experience implementing many project and program, and we can learn about how to move effectively. And the thing is, first you have to identify who would be the champion from those ministry or department, and establish like the right stakeholder through any like legal structure, like here at the National Road Safety Committee, and we talk to the right champion at the National Road Safety Committee, and to NHS to inspire them to talk about that idea, the project and program. And when we have the project implementation, giving like a clear role for them, like Ministry entry on the enforcement, the road safety committee people on the monitoring, evaluation, and some implementation, the coordination and education, mainly on for school program. We have to identify clearly in with a measurable the target and indicator in the specific action plan. And I experienced from the global road safety partnership program, and I think that having a consortium partner also very effective. So like in the country, especially for the developing and like Cambodia, the lower middle income country, we also recognize the contribution of the knowledge and skill expertise from the international best practice organization that can fulfill the gap. So they give all the lots of the idea and the like approach together with the national officials, so to move along the line together. So this how to move it faster, again, the right person, the champion that you can talk to. Like recently we have like the person at the traffic police. He's very active, and now he's also the permanent vice secretary of the National Road Safety Committee. So I normally access to him to talk to him, and then he will call, hey, education, the focal point, can you have a time to talk with Sovann and the team about this idea? Can we do something together, or is this a good idea that we can develop like a joint proposal to apply for a school program or whatever? So yes, and keep a good networking and what I can say, like active partnership with your champions, and then this could be a critical thing that we have to pay higher attention.
Anything from Gail?
I'm just going to pause before we go to Gail, because I realised the time, we've just gone past the hour, and thank you for those who, well, some have had to leave already, but thank you for those that are holding on. We can continue just for a few more minutes before we lose connection. So Gail, please go ahead.
All right, thank you, Teresa. I think what we do here also is the PRP, the private partnership, the public partnership of other companies, private companies, to say, let's support this cause, let's support road safety. And actually, we at first we are strategic to target the ones who the CSR is in line with road safety, like the oil companies, the car manufacturers, you see. So they were keen to be on board. So it was easy for them to understand, and it was easy for them to be on board. But as Sovann was saying, sometimes we have to like go through the ministries also and see, and also look for the champions who will drive the project so that it can be sustainable. Because in any case, even in the second decade of global plan, road safety initiative needs funding. So sometimes we cannot do anything without funding, but the effort that we make, I think they can go a long way. Thank you.
Nice, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And especially thank you to Gail and Sovann. A little round of applause. And I wonder, for those that are hanging on, Mazria, if you would like to just say a couple of words. Our next seminar will be coming up in a couple months' time. We're getting that together with the Malaysia experience. If you wanted to just share that.
Yeah, basically, we are going to have another seminar by the IOC next month. Someone from our the Department of Road Safety, MIROS, will share some information on the initiatives that are currently running in our country. So do wait for our emails notification. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if there's nothing further from everyone, thank you for hanging in there to the end, and always feel free to send your feedback. We will put this recording up for those that were unable to make it, and until next time, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.